Let's talk about something real for a second. Do you ever get that quiet feeling, like you're doing okay financially, but somehow still behind? Like you've been doing the right things, but somehow the math just isn't mathing? Yeah, that one. And if you're somewhere between, say, 35 and 55, and everyone keeps talking about the magic of compounding, but you're sitting there like, when exactly is that supposed to kick in? Yeah, you're not crazy. And you're definitely not alone. If that's you, you're in the right place. Because today, we're not doing hype. We're not doing guilt. We're laying out a simple, realistic plan to make 2026 the year things finally start to click. Now, let me ask you something and just sit with it for a second. What if 2026 wasn't just another year you roll into half hopeful, half tired? What if this was the year you actually drew a line and said, okay, I'm done winging this? Not dramatically, not perfectly, just intentionally. On one side of that line is all the stuff we're exhausted by. The I should have started earlier. The articles that somehow make you feel worse after reading them. The budgets that worked for about 3 weeks. The surprise expenses that nuked everything. We're not judging that. We're just leaving it there. And on the other side of the line, that's where things get calmer. That's where consistency starts doing the heavy lifting. Where compounding, yeah, that thing, finally starts working for you. Because let me guess, this is what it feels like right now. You're putting money away. You're trying. But the growth feels slow, like painfully slow. And then you see those retirement benchmarks online, and instead of motivation, it just feels like, oh, cool, another reminder that I'm behind. Yeah, I get it. Here's the part nobody explains clearly. That feeling, that's not you failing. That's compounding being compounding. Compounding is brutally backloaded. Think of it like pushing a snowball. At first, it's tiny. You're pushing and nothing seems to happen. You're like, is this thing even growing at all? But what you're really doing is building momentum. Charlie Munger, legendary investor, once said, the first $100,000 is a bitch. Yeah, he wasn't being poetic. He was being honest. That first milestone is the hardest part of the whole journey, and the data proves it. That first 100,000 can take close to 8 years, but the next 100,000 way faster. Why? Because now your money starts helping. The snowball gets heavier, momentum finally shows up. So let's shift how we think about this. Forget getting rich. Forget shortcuts. Let's look at 2026 to 2036 as your compounding decade. This is the decade where boring becomes powerful. And here's what boring consistency can actually do. Nothing wild, nothing unrealistic, just 4 to 7% returns. Save $500 a month, and in 10 years, you're looking at roughly $75,000 to $85,000. Bump it to $800, now you're over $120,000. Yeah, that adds up. Is that private island money? No. But is it, I finally feel steady, I have options, and I'm sleeping better money? Absolutely. And honestly, that foundation, that's the psychological win that changes everything. So, how do we actually make this real? We don't try to plan 10 years all at once. That's how people freeze and quit. We start with 1 year. We break 2026 into 4 simple phases. 1 mission per quarter. Here's the roadmap. Q1, get clear, stabilize, decide. Q2, automate and protect. Q3, turn the dial up slightly. Q4, review and raise the floor. Each 90-day mission builds on the last. All right, phase 1. The first 90 days are about clarity, nothing fancy. Step 1, face the music, all debts, all savings, all investments, 1 page. Step 2, pick one primary investment vehicle, just one, your 401k, a Roth IRA. Whatever makes sense, keep it simple. And step 3, this part matters, commit to a monthly contribution number. This becomes your non-negotiable for the entire year. Then we move into Q2. This is where we stop relying on willpower. Because let's be real, willpower is flaky. We automate everything. Set up the investment to happen the day after you get paid. No reminders, no decisions. It just happens. And then we protect the plan with an emergency fund. Because life will happen. And this is what keeps one bad month from wrecking the whole system. Once that's running smoothly, we hit Q3. This is the turn the dial quarter. Just a small increase, 5 to 10%. If you're investing $500 a month, a 10% bump is just $50. You barely feel it. But over a decade, oh wow, that tiny adjustment makes a massive difference. And finally, Q4, this is your annual review. Think of it like you're the CEO of your own finances. You sit down and ask 4 simple questions. Did the system work? How did that contribution feel? What's my new starting point for 2027? And do I actually understand what I'm invested in? This is how you level up. Because after a year of this, something big changes. It's not just your bank account, it's you. You stop telling yourself, I'm behind and confused, and you start living a new identity. I'm the kind of person who invests every month with a plan. That's powerful. And it brings us back to a simple truth from John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard. Time is your friend. Impulse is your enemy. This whole system is designed to do exactly that. Make time your ally and protect you from your own worst impulses. All right, before we wrap this up, let's zoom out for just a second. This isn't about doing everything at once. It's just four simple moves over 1 year. Q1, get clear. One page, one account, one monthly number. Q2, automate and protect. Make the plan boring, automatic, and strong enough to survive real life. Q3, turn the dial a little. A small increase that future you will be very glad you made. And Q4, review and raise the floor. Lock in your progress and start the next year from a higher place. So here's where we land. A plan only works if you actually start. So what's your number for 2026? What's the non-negotiable amount you're committing to every single month? Decide it. Write it down. Because the moment you do that, you've already taken the biggest step toward changing your entire financial future.